Something just came to me, and I've toyed around with the concept of comparing wokeness to a religion, but it hit me in a new way when you're just talking there about like this kind of warped version of Christianity. You know, Jesus says, "Whatever you do unto the least of these, you've done unto me."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of like taking that and be like, well, then we should all be as incompetent as possible. We should all have as like little talent as possible and as little accomplishment as possible, so that we
The
can all be
gospel.
like yeah.
Yeah, it's poverty gospel in a way, and not just in a sense of monetary gain. To your point, it's saying that, well, if I'm just like an impotent, shrimpy, like nice guy, whatever type person, then I should be entitled to this thing. And so, well, Jesus is going to love me anyway. So what's the point of lifting weights? What's the point of developing my social skills, of dressing well, of reading my Bible, of doing this? If Jesus is going to love me anyway, then people should love me for who I am, and that's just it. But that's not what Jesus says. That is a distortion. That is a warping of the gospel to a kind of broader scale of poverty, not just a monetary poverty, but of a spiritual poverty, of personal development poverty, of a self fulfillment poverty in terms of being the best person that you can be to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And I think that's what this is, because at the end of it, I think the solution to wokeness, the solution to this kind of war on disability advocacy, is for competent people to step up and to do the things that they need to do to provide for people, and therefore spread that to other people. And I like to say my epilogue on this is that my sister has worked very hard to get to where she is. She was at a point we didn't think she was going to be able to be remotely by herself. We thought she was going to be either living with my parents for her entire life or in a very, monitored group home setting. She's now largely gotten out of that. She's in a very, kind of a mid-maintenance, assisted living facility out by where we live up in Cleveland. And, I look at that and I think that that's a miracle. But because competent people had to design that, they had to make the rules for that. They had to design all the buildings. They had to design the structure of the staffing policies. And if we don't have competent people doing that work, if we don't have people that are putting themselves in the position to bless other people through that, then my sister doesn't have a chance. Then people like my sister don't have a chance. That actually disabled people who have actual real hardship to overcome, who have been actually victimized due to biology or something like that, they have no chance.